everybody. Hi, 71. Hi, Mark. Hi, Texas. And whoever else tunes in. How y'all doing? Sorry I was running late today. Tell you, it's fun playing chauffeur. I had to run one teenager to a costume party and another to a sleepover. So, yeah, they keep me on my toes, I tell you. Hope everyone's doing good tonight. I know, I'll try to present the case fast, you know. I know a lot of stuff's going on today, right? So, plus, I spent my whole day researching other stories I'm going to be doing in, well, stories, cases. Anyway, get the facts out there, and uh, what I mean by fast is get the facts out, and as well, I guess we can talk about it as we go. Tonight's case is Lana Turner and her daughter, Cheryl Crane. I don't know if y'all are familiar with this scandal or with Lana Turner, but her career, Lana Turner's career was from like 1937 to 1985. Mark's been bad as usual. She's ratting you out. She's ratting you out there, Mark. Um, uh, Lana Turner was best known for her role in Postman Always Rings Twice, and she was nominated for Best Actress in a Leading Role for her performance in Peyton Place in March of 1958. Of course, she didn't win it, but she was nominated. You know, because it's an honor just to be nominated. Isn't that what they always say? Uh, Now, she was married 8 times, but to 7 husbands. So subsequently, her second husband was also her third husband, uh, Stephen Crane. She was born Julia Jean Turner on February 8th, 1921, which is crazy because that's my grandmother's exact birth date. um, she was she grossed or she earned MGM Studios like 50 million. Uh, so she was a big star back then. Uh, she epitomized the glitz and glamour of the Hollywood golden age, really. Um, and She started her career when she was just 16 years old. Supposedly skipping school hanging out in a malt shop, she was discovered. Um, anyway, she was in several movies, and then she was known for being a bit of a party girl too. You know, she liked to party, and she had several different men boyfriends between the husbands, probably during the husbands. um, I don't know if everybody remembers her or has seen her in old movies. Anyway, I think she had her daughter in 1943 or 44, Cheryl, with her uh, second husband, Stephen Crane. Anyway, she raised Cheryl. Well, we should say nannies raised Cheryl, and when she was old enough to go to boarding school, she went to boarding school. And during breaks and stuff, she would stay with her mother. Um, in 1957, she got hooked up with this Johnny Stompanato Jr. Okay, and he was connected to the Cohen crime family, and they were in a relationship for like a year, living together and everything. Um, they said basically he would come to her movie sets with flowers and just constantly paying her attention, and um, he was all up on it. You know what I mean? He was persistent. She didn't find out till months later that she wasn't the only starlet that he was trying to hook up with. There was two or three others that they considered what would be considered stalking now. But they got together, and he was a little bit of a ruffian. You know what I mean? Uh, so there was a lot of domestic violence in the situation. He was known for hitting her. Um, they said when she was on set in England, um, filming or filming with Sean Connery on a particular movie, that he roughed her up in the hotel room they were staying in so bad that the authorities kicked him out of the country. And so they basically put him on a plane and said, "Get your ass back to the States." So after filming broke up, after filming was done in England, she went to Mexico for vacation, and he met her down there. And I guess he roughed her up in Mexico too. So when they were done with their vacation, she came back, or they came back on the plane, and they were met at the airport by the chauffeur, that kind of thing, and her 14-year-old daughter, Cheryl. Um, they get back home, and it's just argument after argument. It was just one of those toxic relationships. Anyway, with this toxic relationship, he went upstairs to hang his clothes up, unpack and hang his clothes up, and she followed him upstairs. I mean, Lana Turner did, and told him basically, no, out, out. Now, during that time, there were supposedly two people downstairs that were friends. You know how these people, movie stars, have entourages and stuff. But there were a couple of friends downstairs, and they were hearing things go on. Her daughter was down the hall. Cheryl was down the hall and in her room, and heard the argument. And what happened was, while he's hanging clothes or whatever, I think she grabbed his arm or something, and he shoved her down, and it escalated. Um, She's like done. I guess she had told the people downstairs too. She was done with them before she even went up there. She was like, I want him out. I want him out. I don't want to deal with it anymore. He just can't take no for an answer. He kept showing up no matter what. He wouldn't leave her alone. Um, but shoved her down, and this is what she said he said, and what other people had said he said is, if you were a man, I would cut your hands off. But but you make your living by your face, so I'm going to cut your face so you won't be able to work again. Okay. Her daughter overhears this. She's panicking because she doesn't know if this is going to be the time that her mom is killed by this guy. Because I guess she suffered black eyes, bruising, all sorts of stuff. Um, so Cheryl, the 14-year-old, runs downstairs, grabs a butcher knife out of the kitchen, runs back up. Now, as she's running back up, she goes to go into the doorway. Just then, he had turned around at that instant and had taken a step forward. So she had the knife in front of her. It went boom right into him. They screamed. The people, the eyewitnesses from downstairs came up, said there was relatively no blood, but he had stopped uh, breathing and everything right away. Okay? And so this is where it gets really weird. Cheryl immediately calls her father, Stephen Crane. Okay? Then right after that, subsequently, Lana calls her mother, Millie. Okay? Then Millie, Lana's mother, calls a doctor from her house. The doctor arrives but can't revive Stompanato. So the doctor tells Turner to call a really good attorney. So I guess she does, because all of them were there. That means the ex-husband, the doctor, the lawyer, the eyewitnesses from downstairs. They were all there right there in the crime scene. And so as soon as the police arrive, they arrest the 14-year-old Cheryl. They charge her with the murder of Johnny Stompanato Jr. Okay? But this gets interesting. They find the weapon in Lana Turner's master bathroom, okay, which was an 8-inch butcher knife, right, with no fingerprints. They ran it for prints. It had no prints on it. Okay. Right? So Cheryl is put in juvenile hall for a week when they decide to do a hearing, just, and it's like a inquest kind of hearing or whatever. Anyway, so they do this hearing, and she's not allowed to testify because she's 14 years old. She's a minor back then, right? But her mother testifies and gives this story. Okay? So I guess she really put on a production on the stand. And the jury kind of felt bad. So the jury ruled that Stampanato's death was a justifiable homicide, like a self-defense kind of situation. So there was a lot of speculation going around. Whether Turner had done it herself and had her daughter take the heat, or if the daughter really did it. But the witnesses downstairs say, yeah, they know for a fact it was her. They didn't have time to make up a story, because as soon as they heard the screams and all that, or the you know from the knifing, they came running up, and he had just landed on the floor, and they said there was relatively, like, hardly any blood. You know, uh, because of all this transpiring, um, Turner's mother ended up uh, getting custody of Cheryl, the granddaughter. Hey, Blissful, how you doing, sweetheart? Yeah, he basically ran right into the knife. They said he was in such, like, you're turning around from an argument, angry. You go to step and you walk right into the knife as she's arriving in the doorway. So it's a lot of people thought it was sketchy, but as it's explained, you're like, something like that can happen. How many times has somebody walked into a knife? And she was holding it out in front of her. Of you know, um, here's the thing. But the poor girl's life after that was marred by, like, she ended up in reform school. She got into drugs. She got into alcohol. She even spent a whole year in an institution. Um, the psychiatrists and counselors all said that, her mental issues all stemmed or started with that whole incident with the death of Johnny Stompanato Jr., you know? So the trauma that poor girl went through. Could you imagine being 14 years old and having something like that happen? And, well, all that tells me with the reform school, the behaviors, I mean, she eventually, um, later on in life, became a successful businesswoman, raised a family, got married, but the trauma the poor kid went through. And not to mention, growing up back then, being raised by nannies. She even wrote a book, I think, in the 80s. Um, she wasn't really close to her mom because, it was always nannies taking care of her, or, uh, yeah, right, Mark, you would have called the police, not gotten a knife. 71, you would have got two knives. Yeah. So, I mean, hold on, someone's at the door. Hello, hello. Sorry about that. Guess that was fun. I get my kids out of the house, then I got kids knocking on the door trying to sell me candy bars. I know, right? That's what I said. I was like, okay, and they go, but we only have one flavor. I don't even know what kind it is. Oh, yeah, it's a crisp, chocolate crisp. Oh, hey Nugget, how you doing, baby? I said something about a chocolate candy bar and Nugget pops in. Imagine that. That is definitely my child. Pokemon trades. We know you love nuts, 71. You're dying. How are you dying, Nugget? You dying by chocolate? Yeah, Nugget's at a party. She's probably on her phone. Is it an interesting party, Nugget? Got data, haha. That's okay. See, she's across town at a party and she's on here. Hopefully they got Cheetos at that party. Thank you, thank you. You don't think it's an interesting party if she's in here with a spokes? She's just a multitasker. Oh, you're getting pizza. Fancy smancy, you're getting pizza. I have no junk food here. I need to go shopping. But you can imagine, isn't that kind of odd that, I mean, they had a doctor there, they had a lawyer there, uh, the girl's dad was there all before the police were even called. Oh, spin the bottle party, is it, Nugget? I mean, you know how those Hollywood things go. Oh, you noticed I didn't play music, right? Y'all noticed I didn't play music. So, someone's watching me very carefully. Let's just say that. What's up, Mr. G? Come out for your candy? No, $1. Should have got more. You know what? I think that was the PR. I think that was the whole purpose of calling the doctor, then the lawyer. Um, I wouldn't be surprised if someone from the studio showed up. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have candy. But I'm not one of those that eats while I'm talking. I have civilized manners. Nothing like talking with your mouth full, right? You know, I haven't eaten. Actually, with everything going on today, Mr. G made dinner tonight while I was doing all this chauffeuring and stuff. So, and he had it was so nice. He had my computer all set up for me when I got back. I didn't get in the door until 6:32. I was like, ah, taco meat. Tell you what, I could go for some tacos, even though it's Friday. I'd make it Taco Friday. But I mean, that scandal, I mean, people talked about it for decades of whether it was her and she had her daughter take the rap so that, you know, it wouldn't be attached to her. Because she went on and she kept making movies after that. Um, and she was in TV series and stuff like that. I think the last time she did anything was like Falcon Crest in the 80s. Miss Lana Turner. You're bitter about it. Dang, I know. If I don't have enough to share with the rest of the class, I don't have to. Uh, wasn't Jane Wyman also in that in Falcon Crest? Jane Wyman? Wasn't that Ronald Reagan's first wife? If I remember right. I I have the weirdest memory. I remember the most obscure things. I mean, if you asked me what color shirt I wore last Tuesday, I couldn't tell you, but I could tell you who was married to who 50 years ago. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but a lot of this stuff, it's conversations that I had with my mother about stuff that she remembered. And I mean, because my mother was born in 38. So she would tell me stuff about things going on during World War II, because that was in her childhood. Like, rations and living with her grandmother because her parents were uh, doing like migrant work. Like they go from place to place and work in fields. Also, they went down and they were working in the boatyards in California during WW2. Uh, Riveting. Yay, my grandmother was a regular Rosie the Riveter. And that would have made her, let's see, like 21, 22 when she did this, my grandma, because she was born in 1921. Funny enough, February 8th, 1921. Ooh, that's kind of cool. My grandmother was born the exact same day and year as Lana Turner, and my mother was born the exact same day and year as Natalie Wood. Birthday twinsies. You need to catch up on the last 30 years, Mark. Right, Texas? It's like my brain's a repository for odd facts and timelines and everything else. It's like I remember the most obscure things. And and then it really irritates me. It really does. When I learn things and I research things and I'm always looking into stuff, when somebody comes out with the wrong information, it drives me nuts. Or um, someone just confuses everything and just boggles it up, you know? It just blows. It's like it doesn't anger me. It just it's like one of those like kind of pet peeves. Huh. Well, let's see. I'm gonna go ahead, post the link if anybody wants to jump aboard. Um, but I can't talk about some of the other thing or other cases that I'll be doing that for this. I mean, for these type of lives. I'm gonna do Jean Harlow. Welcome back, 71. I'm thinking about doing Tallulah Bankhead. She was quite a character. Um, Definitely doing Thelma Todd. Uh, probably Sharon Tate. Definitely diving into the whole George Reeves thing and Lenore Lemon. I know what, yeah, but I know what Texas is talking about. It's like, um, you absorb so much just odd information, right? You want to change your name to Tallulah. Oh man, I tell you that one, Tallulah Bankhead. Have you put one in chat if you've ever heard of her? Put a two if you haven't. Oh, Mark, we don't expect you to behave. I mean, then you wouldn't be Mark. It is Texas. You've heard of her. Okay. Oh, wow. That one. Oh, Mark. Oh, shall we let Mark know about Tallulah Bankhead? Tallulah Bankhead was, I think, a senator's daughter, but basically she was well connected in Hollywood. Um, She was an actress. Um, let's say, I believe they said she had several liaisons. Let's see, romances, lovers, um, both male and female. Um, wow, the list of people that she hooked up with was, yeah, interesting. Um, she claimed to have, in her memoirs, she had claimed to have slept with over 500 people. Several is an understatement, right? What I um she would be like, I don't know, very sexually liberated, right? Um I believe they said she had like four uh, pregnancies that she terminated. Only 500. It's like the Indy 500. No, over 500. Maybe she lost count. Um. Oh yeah, she supposedly even had been connected with Greta Garbo, Joan Crawford. It was rumored. Um, Spencer Tracy. That guy really got around. Uh, for someone who played a priest, he sure got around. Um, oh, that and it. The other thing was, I think they said in the 30s she had to go undergo a hysterectomy, a total hysterectomy due to a venereal disease. And then told the doctor, if you think that's going to stop me, she brought her own grapes. I love that. She brought her own grapes to the orgy. Gosh, you know what? I think that's some of the rumors and stuff is that she would host those, that she would host these orgies and stuff. Oh, she was quite the popular girl. He had better idols. He probably banged the dog. Hey, but she was that chick you could just see laying back with the man's shirt on. You know what I mean? With the cigarette in a holder, just like, yeah, I haven't had sex all day. Mm, and that's a day too long. I don't think people, I mean, digging into all these Hollywood cases and stuff, um, I think that a lot of times when looking into that stuff, there was a lot more hanky panky going on than movies being made. Oh, do you really, Blissful? The antique cigarette holders, those are kind of cool. Mm. My It's kind of odd that in a like Ziploc bag for years, our family had a flapper dress. Like, it was a pink. beaded flapper dress, originally made, obviously, back in the 20s, and it was my grandmother's, um, my paternal grandmother's, and it had, and also another baggie had like cigarette holders and stuff like that. She was quite the party animal. Yeah, she was. She's a petite little brunette with brown eyes. But yeah, she ended up popping out 9 kids and then wasn't so petite anymore. Your great great aunt was the flapper, Blissful? Yeah, you know the term flapper. You know the girls that would cut their hair like in chin bobs and wear the headband with the feather with their like beaded dresses that were like mini skirt like hussies showing their ankles and such, showing a lot of gams. I tell you, you look like her. I'll tell you a creepy little. And this is another gender story. Da da da. I'm famous for. Anyway, um, when my uh, dad had his colon surgery, and they had, well, they found colon cancer back in '92. Okay, and they removed it, and they had given him like 3 months. 3 months. Well, during that time, my aunt and her 2 sons went in and cleaned out his apartment while everybody was at the hospital, and she was selling off his stuff, right? I won't get it too much into that. He recovered some of it, but um, she hadn't seen me since I was 8 or 9. I hadn't seen her that long, and I was 23, 24 at the time. And my dad kept saying, "Hey, um, my youngest daughter looks just like Maxine, just like Maxine." And what's creepy about this is Maxine was their sister who died in, I think it was 1948. Um, and it's a questionable death, whether it was accidental or it was um, a murder, homicide. Like, I want to be told that I look like someone who was potentially murdered. But I guess she had auburn red hair, green eyes, and light fair complexion like me, and was tall and busty. So, hi Donnie, how you doing, sweetheart? Good to see you. So I come in the room, and my dad goes, "See, look," and my Aunt Irma's jaw dropped, and she goes, "Oh my God, I would swear that's my sister Maxine." And I'm like, "Oh my God, no, I'm not your sister Maxine." Because my dad was like 61, 62 at the time, and my Aunt Maxine was like 10 years older than him. I'm not a 72-year-old woman. Um, anyway, and they all kept saying that, "Oh, it's like She's so much like Maxine. She even talks like Maxine. So much that my other aunt, Betty, was like, you have to be Maxine reincarnated. I hope not. Your platter of heaven is ready, 71. Busty fun bags. Only thing is, I have a big butt too. I have a big butt. And that's only so I can keep balance, so I don't fall forward. Got to have a round booty behind me in order so I don't fall flat on my face. Because I'm pretty clumsy. So I should tell that story. You guys might like that. It's another murder mystery with my Aunt Maxine. Doo-doo. I fell asleep. Supper isn't fun. It's fish sticks. Blissful. Yeah. Yeah. I've got chicken breast and stuffing. Or basically stuffed chicken breast. Oh, that sounds yummy. 71. Plate full of lettuce, tomatoes, and taco meat with blue cheese dressing. Ah, that makes me want hot wings and blue cheese dressing. Mm. Oh my god. I remember being a little kid and thinking blue cheese dressing was disgusting, but how your taste change as you grow up. I don't know. Okay, since we're just blowing time anyway, I'll go ahead and nacho cheese and Cheetos. You know what I had earlier for you know, I'm not a great big lunch eater. I had two handfuls of Cheetos and dipped it in ranch dip. You like all the stinky food at 71? That's okay. I like some of those stinky foods too. That's a fun part about having kids, though. For you, those that don't have kids, it's fun when you have kids, and I guess in a way, this could be construed as torture. Really? Okay, Mr. G had a thing with. I mean, he loves citrus, so he's always got to have like lemons or limes around. You know what I mean? So his favorite thing to do was cut like little wedges and then like give a taste to a baby, you know. Not like a newborn or anything like that, but like a 1 year old or a 10-month old baby, you know, when they're wanting to taste things. Oh no, I had the crunchy ones. I like me crunchy Cheetos. Um, I don't do the puffs. Too snobby for that. But put lemon on a baby's tongue and watch their face. Or lime. I knew so. You know what? I knew something was wrong with Nugget because out of all my kids and my grandkids, they all like gave that whole like yes sour face, right? Nugget just like smiled and grabbed it and sucked all the juice out of it. Like And that is why she's such a sour person. No, I'm just kidding. I should be careful. She could be watching. Ooh, okay. So I'll talk about Maxine's her case. I love um, hot wings in blue, dipped in blue cheese a lot. No bang for your buck, hot. But the Cheeto puffs, man. So basically, back in 48, 49, I'll have to look it up again because it was in the microfiche, at the library, and we had all sorts of paperwork on it for years. Um, my aunt Maxine was. Hold on. Boys! You hear my boys? Anyway, back then, uh, my aunt Maxine used to frequent a couple places. Now, I think she was 17 years old. Anyway, she got pregnant when she wasn't married back in the 40s. Yikes. By her boyfriend. Now, I think his name was Billy or something like that. Bobby or Billy. Anyway, they were going to get married, blah, blah, blah. But his parents uh, were loaded, you know, and connected. And they wouldn't hear of it. So she ended up having the baby. And when she had the baby, of course, she was living with her parents. And when the baby was a year old, they were still sneaking around seeing each other because, her her and the boyfriend. But they went out on a double date with his younger sister who was 14, her boyfriend who was like 16, and and obviously my aunt and her um, boyfriend. They went to these clubs. Now, back then, there was a certain street down here that had two clubs that were owned by the mafia. Okay. And here's the thing, there was also a married mob boss that had kind of a soft spot for her who owned one of the clubs. Uh, and there was another club also called, and it's weird that it was called the Stork Club because there's other clubs across the country named Stork Club owned by mafia. But anyway, um, they started out at the Stork Club, ended up at this other bar, and I can't remember what this nightclub was called. But then they ended up till late hours. Though it was cold, it was cold out. They went to a gas station, went in. The two boys went in and left the car running. They were going to pick up some cigarettes and then get some gas. They come back out, and the 14-year-old sister, I think her name was Caroline, wakes up, but they couldn't get my aunt to wake up. So it was ruled carbon monoxide poisoning when the police arrived and stuff. Only issue is, why did a 14-year-old that probably weighed 20, 30 pounds less than her survive? Carbon monoxide poisoning. They also found uh, like um, debris in her hair, and not in the 14-year-olds, but in my aunt's hair. They found debris and suspicious markings on her neck, but they ruled it a accidental death due to carbon monoxide poisoning. And my family fought for years to have the case reopened, but they would never reopen it. Kind of interesting, ain't it? Yep, exactly 71. Oh, they testified. I mean, there was a whole bunch of inquiry and investigation into it. Oh, yeah, it is. I mean, markings on the neck, debris in her hair. How'd you get debris in her hair? You know, if they were in the car. It's been about 30 years since I went over had all the articles and stuff like that. Yeah, actually, technically, um, yeah, it doesn't take long, maybe 5 minutes, but it also, if you, here's the thing, that's if you're going for the whole windpipe, right? If you shut off the blood supply between the on either side of the neck, press down on both sides of the neck at the same time, um, you cut off the blood supply, not just the air, and that'll knock them out in 10 seconds. Now, when they go for the, right, like a lot of them go for right in front there, and that's how the hyoid bone gets broke. Yeah, that's where it takes longer. But if they press on either side at the same time, where the um, artery and where the arteries are, the major arteries and stuff, and cut off that blood supply, within 10 seconds, they're out. They're gone. But I don't know if either of those occurred. But so the speculation was either the boyfriend did it or the mobster did it, and they went along with it because they didn't want to die. It can take up to 10 minutes sometimes if they don't, you know, depending on what spot they hit. Yeah, Blissful, welcome back, sweetheart. So after hearing about that, I mean, my mother told me about it when I was probably 9 or 10, and my other aunt told me about it when I was 18. My dad talked about it. My cousin, who was their daughter, talked about it because she was raised by my grandparents. Oh, I remember the guy's last name, but I'm not going to say it on YouTube. Even though the guy is probably long dead. But, like I said, notice we have no music. But that's because if I even play 5 seconds of music, someone's reporting it. So then my live stream gets blocked. Yep, good one, Blissful. Good thought there. Yeah, a 17-year-old kid would not know what they're doing. But I guess this older gentleman, I mean, a lot of them try to point the finger at the boyfriend or whatever. And, but I tend to lean towards the mobster because from what I understand, this guy was obsessed with her. He was either in his late 30s or early 40s, and she was 17 years old. And he was always pursuing her, you know, uh, almost like stalker pursuing her. Did Mark scared by 71? You better be afraid. Yeah, I mean, if an older, I don't know about you ladies, but all I know is when I was a teenager, if older guys hit on me, I was creeped out. I was really creeped out. Hell, I was like that even in my 20s. I think when I was like 22, there was a guy who was like 38 who really had, he just really had a major crush. I don't know what you would say. And yeah. And I was like, ooh, no. Guy asked me out a few times. I'm like, no. You know, because he was like 16 years older than me. And I was like, ooh. And his response was because this is at a time before me and Mr. G got married, and we had split up. Like, you're dating for a while and then you could split up. Anyway, we were split up. He was dating someone else. And this guy asked me out and he goes, well, you dated that old guy. What old guy? And Mr. G. Mr. G he was 21 at the time, but he had a white streak. He always had a white streak in the front of his hair. He had like uh, a white streak right in the middle. He was born with. Okay. So he had like really dark brown, almost black hair, Mr. G did, with this little white stuff in the middle. And they all thought he was like in his 30s when he was basically 20 something, 20, 21. And they're like, why did you date? Well, you like older men. No, he's younger than me by 10 months. Get him young. Stalkers word, you've had a few stalkers. Me too. Oh my gosh. Um, I didn't realize when I was 16, 17 years old that I had a neighbor stalking me. Like, well, not a neighbor. Like, he lived in the neighborhood like 6 or 7 blocks away. But I didn't realize that this guy camped out, like, behind my house, looking in my windows. I had no clue. I mean, I heard this. I didn't know that he was doing this. Yeah, I guess he did this for almost a year or whatever, and then he confessed it to me. It was real weird. It was awkward. It was related. I don't know, man. When I say camped out, I mean this kid, I guess, left his house and at night and would go and watch me through the window or through my bedroom window. Well, I usually had I had cable TV in my room, and I would just leave the TV on all night when I went to sleep. So there was always like a light in my room, like a hue of light, and he would watch me like change. He would watch me like sleep, and then he literally beat up two of my boyfriends over that year. Two guys that I dated, and I thought, well, this guy's weird. Why would he beat up my boyfriends? Yeah, you love it. I love it when they confess to you that they are driving by your house. Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I got so many calls at my stalker or online comments. They see me walking. Oh my god. Right? Oh my god. Yes, we as women are just flattered by that. No. Look at the guys in chat. They're so quiet. They're like, what? Stalkers? Right? And here's the thing, guys can be stalked just as much as women, and sometimes I think worse. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of guy stalkers are like, they'll watch you from like the street corner, or they'll watch you from your yard when you're not looking. Those freaking women stalkers who stalk men, right? They'll go right up to their door and bang on it. What are you doing? What are you doing with her? And then he'd be like, dude, this is my girlfriend. I'm your girlfriend. You know, good, Bliss. I'm glad. Ugh. I mean, what's creepy about it is a lot of those. What do they call? They call it like erotomania, right? They're like, you find it a compliment, Mark? Okay, Mark, I'm gonna start stalking you. Okay, sweetheart. Should I start stalking you just online? I think that's what they call it, erotomania. Blissful, I love you, girl. You crack me up. Mm. Mine have been stalking me for at least 8 years. Ouch. Yep, no biggie. Oh, okay. So you want to be stalked by a like almost 6 foot tall redhead? I think that would be scary for a guy. If I stalked a dude, that would be so scary for him. Ah, I think they would be terrified. Ah, freaking tall redhead is stalking me. That ginger's gonna take my soul. Oh, you know what's worse? 71. It's like when you're walking from one destination to another, and the car, these people drive by, and, or a dude will drive by, and they're like, "Can I give you a ride?" No, thanks. I'm almost there. Come on, get in the car. It's raining. No, thanks. What's even creepier is like, say you're, I mean, I see it in movies depicted all the time when like you're out somewhere with friends, maybe, or and you see there's that one person looking in the glass at you. Like they got the hands up on the glass and they're looking right through. It's like, dude, chill. You would see me, my head would be out of the sunroof. I'm tall, but I'm not that tall. In fact, I have a sunroof in my car. The only time you'll see me hanging out the sunroof is if I'm uh uh what is it? Surfing. Sun sunroof surfing. There we go. I mean, I'm 5'11". I'm not gonna. Well, I'm probably 5'10" now because you know you shrink with age. Isn't that weird that they say you shrink like in height, but your feet get bigger? You're gonna marry Mark for his car, 71. Oh, blissful! You need a booster seat so you can drive. Oh, come on. You're just cute. You're like pocket sized blissful. I just want to put you in my little pocket and protect you. I just want to put you in my pocket and protect you. Hey, I tell you what, being a tall girl, it's the short ones you have to worry about. They will kick you in the knees and then punch you in the face after you drop to the ground. And then they won't stop kicking until you stop moving. It's the short ones because they got nothing to lose, man. They got nothing to lose. I used to run around with a girl who was like 5'1" when I was almost 6 foot tall at that point, and my friend was 5'1", and it was like she'd pick fights with dudes and be like rah, rah, right up in their faces, and I'm like, man, I barely know her. And that's what she was. She was a Scorpio too, because her birthday was at the end of October. This friend of mine I'm talking about. She was 5 foot nothing. And oh well, I take that. She was 5'3", but she was like, I will bite a chunk out of your Achilles tendon as I'm going down, bro. That's what she would tell guys. Yeah, I dated a Scorpio once. That was not fun for me. Scorpios and Libras, nah, not a good combo. I dated an Aries once, and we ended up being like better friends than dating. So even years later, we were friends. Well, hey, there's other things to it too. I mean, there's so many elements to the different personalities that are within, that are subtyped into that. But the guy I dated was, no. The Scorpio I dated was not for me. A fiery couple around. No, thank you. But I did make him cry when I broke up with him. And I shouldn't brag about that. It's not really bragging. But he was a dick. Ones that are compatible for you are devils. I am definitely. You can make s'mores. Yeah. Oh man, you had to go there, man. Now you're making me all like want s'mores. All this food talk. I love that. Ah, blissful girl. You always make me laugh. So witty. Witty and charming, yes, you are. Come up with some of the best ones. You know that? Oh, well, y'all, I hate to end this, but I have to go pick Nugget up from her party. So I will catch y'all on the flip side. I don't know. I might come on later. Depends on if anybody else is on. So that, open up chat for people if you guys want that. Um, you know, you're the anti romantic. How about blissful? Call yourself practical. You're a practical person. He's romantic and you're practical. I think, you know what? You say that Blissful is the greatest, Texas. I think she is too. Anyway. Oh, listen to that record. Yep. So I will catch you all on the flip side.